Venice, Italy is made up of 118 islands. It has been likened to a Disneyland for adults based on its magical ambience. What many do not know is that it is sinking 0.08 inches a year, along with tilting eastward and shifting out to sea. Water, as this next picture will show, is an integral component of the city, contributing to its charm and uniqueness. There are over 400 footbridges that crisscross the 100 canals that are interspersed throughout the city. There are no cars or roads, so the canals are bustling with excitement. Water buses carry up to 200 passengers. Traghettos are based on budget and are very plain. Gondolas are traditional with serenading gondoliers and are quite expensive. Water taxis are by far the most elite, with wood paneling and leather interior. Despite the presence of so many tourists, Venice has a lot to offer for the individual experience, which will be shown in the next picture. As political science professor and travel journalist Deborah Gruber noted, maps are of little use, and modern gadgets like cell phones with GPS even less so. For that reason, it can be genuinely difficult to find things in Venice, so resolve instead to discover them. Venice is well known for its lack of nightlife rowdiness. Incidentally, is it well known for being very romantic, peaceful, and serene when the crowds fade away and the stars come out in the evening. As this next picture will show, a figure dressed up for Carnival, a legendary masked ball event that has been ongoing annually since 1162. Venice also well known for its locally made lace and Murano glassmakers, who were the first in Europe to discover how to create mirrors, and have gone on since that time in 1291 to build on that legacy, making handmade paperweights, chandeliers, and other special items. Now that you've discovered how water affects Venice in a positive way, let's examine the flip side. Water laps at the walls of Venice literally 24/7 and is taking a toll structurally on the porous materials that ancient buildings are made of: limestone, wood, and reed. Artesian wells were continually being tapped into to provide for the city's water until the 1970s, when research pointed out that it was not so beneficial. According to Pietro Tando, who's a professor at the University Ca' Foscari, noted, the removal of this groundwater caused the whole city to collapse by 23 centimeters, and according to the relation to sea level, this is equivalent to about 9 inches. As this next picture will show, as the city keeps slowly sinking, flooding is becoming more of a problem and becoming more common. Now, as these 4 people are floating in their chairs, they do not realize the water they're in is not pristine rainwater, but is in fact has a residual of sewage in it. This is because the sewage system has not fully modernized. Although homes, businesses, and hotels are now required to have septic tanks installed, the rest of the city still relies on the old way of channeling their waste throughout the canals of the city. So this mixture of the old and the new has not fully been modernized and does pose a health risk during flooding. In 1992, safeguarding measures were brought more into effect, and something was brainstormed as quite significant. The name of it was MOSE. It has been ongoing since 1992, with the completion date set for next year, 2016. The name is credited to the biblical figure Moses, who parted the Red Seas. So you may ask, what is MOSE? Well, according to Claudio Lavanga from NBC News, MOSE is a complex system of moving dams around Venice that took decades and millions of dollars to build. 4 mobile barriers are distributed throughout the city, and gates are attached to each of these. The barriers weigh 300 tons each, with the weight of mere hinge weighing 42 tons. When the forecast for a high tide is reported, these barriers lift the gates in a process which takes 30 minutes to their full height of 10 feet, which has been well planned because the highest tide on record so far was 6 feet, which accounted for the worst floods in history in 1966. In conclusion, water is undeniably the sparkle factor of Venice, contributing to its unique old world charm and appeal. But water is also creeping into the city, wreaking havoc from the bottom up. Venice is an icon featuring Gothic and Byzantine architecture sprinkled in among colorful buildings. It's like a jewel glimmering in the ocean. During the months of October through December is when the worst flooding occurs. So there are 2 solutions. Either wear tall boots like these 2 men are doing, or, as the next picture shows, the city constructs planks that are on stilts to protect pedestrians from stepping in the water. Moe's is costing Venice $6.1 million and employing 5,000 jobs. As a city, this is a huge sacrifice, but they're hoping that it'll pay off and be the lifesaver for the city that will bring its preservation for centuries and generations to enjoy, as so many previously have.